welcome to Once Driven, Forever Smitten. I'm Dougie Rankin. This is my Cavalier CD 2 litre 16 valve C20XE. Hello and welcome to Once Driven, Forever Smitten. If you've been following the channel, you'll know that one of the most important cars for me this year has been my Cavalier CD, which after sitting parked up for a few months and realising it did a lot of welding and a lot of work for the MOT, we got it back on the road and I've been using it pretty relentlessly since then. It's now racked up over 10,000 miles since it went on the road on the 30th of December 2021. We've done some maintenance to it over the past few months, notably fitting a new clutch, which was an important thing to get done because the old one was, the pedal was really heavy and it was starting to drag. Done a bit of servicing here and there as well. Importantly though, need to get the timing belt done. That's proved difficult because the bottom pulley bolts have been seized in place. So this video we're going to go through doing the timing belt. I've also done the front discs and pads on the car, which we're needing done. It's not a sort of in-depth how-to guide on how to do a timing belt on one of these engines. I've got the engine out of the Ecotec sitting there for the Mark III Astra, so if I wanted to I could do that. But in the meantime, here's some more maintenance on the Cavalier, what's involved with keeping it running. It's a 30-year-old car. Generally it's been pretty reliable. We've got a couple of wiring plugs to sort out, but we did manage to get the timing belt done, and that'll take it over 200,000 miles should everything remain as it is at the moment, with it sitting on 168,081 miles. Now we're going to go and see my mate Brian at Freezebreeze. He's an air conditioning specialist and he's also addicted to buying tools. He's got loads and loads of different kit. Whatever we'll need to get these bottom pulley bolts out, should they shear off, which hopefully they won't, we should be able to sort of smack something onto them, maybe heat them up and release them. But it's amazing how badly they're jammed in there. I'm going to be doing some rust proofing and corrosion prevention stuff soon as well, starting off with the Omega, because everything's rusting to hell with this new salt and grit that they've got on the roads. So yeah, let's get on with Cavalier stuff. Right, seen as, that's bad, need to sort that. Seen as, can't really be bothered going down the garage because it's after 7:30 at night. I'm going to have a look at the bottom bolts on this at the house. What are curbside motors, just to see if we can establish if they're going to come out or not. Now, look at this, look at that. That's an eye-back spring. Look, there is no paint left on it. That has fallen to bits. There's no paint left on any of this here, because of this bloody new salt that you get. But these were starting to chew up. It was not good, so I have to try and see if we can get something onto there to see if we can get it to come apart. Now these little snap-on sockets go up in tiny fractions at a time, and they're designed for removing knackered head bolts, or well, knackered bolts in general. So if we can, you know, get a strong bit of attachment onto them, you'll see, I mean, I put these bloody things on, so they can't be that tight. He said. Jeez, oh. Well, can't get anything to come out. I'm trying to put this, drop this onto this bar so it's sitting against it on the ground. Oh, it's pushed the bar down anyway, so that's now sitting against that. Okay, so back to trying again, but I think it's just going to fucking... it's going to chew the ends out of this. I'm going to have to get a big gun to get the main bolt out it and a new wood rough for it. And it's just too... The corrosion is just horrendous. What's happened to this cap? I think it's just going to chew this again. Oh, we've got one. Okay. Oh, well, one. Well, that's great. Ah, come on. I'm not even connected anymore. I'm just sitting in there. Yeah, it's a big failure on this one again. Those are fantastic sockets, like I say, they really took a bite, but it's just chewing the metal. Look at that. Decided just do the couple of bits and pieces that I've been needing. Especially this drive shaft gator which burst quite a while ago. There's not even any grease on that wheel this time round because it's so very dry. Pads are about halfway down on this side, they're a lot less on the other. Aye, messy at the other side. Yeah, grease. Oh, so much grease. I mean, the pads are lower on the other side than this, but I shall give them a go. I'll have to get all that.
One or two's up, unless you crack your ears. I've done it with me that day. Crack your heart, don't you?
Just ready. See if this Irwin will bash over the top. Okay. Jeez, oh, that's a way. That's a way. We've got it. Never had to do that in a caliper bolt before. Should go back fairly easy. This had a couple of new calipers on it, even though you can't tell because of the advanced levels of corrosion all over the bloody thing. Back you go. I've got the cap off the master cylinder as well. You don't want to do this and the fluid doesn't have anywhere to go. A little bit of copper grease on the sliders on the pads. These are Ferodo racing pads which were donated to Kenzo as part of a job lot, so they'll probably not work very well from cold. I just need to remember that first thing in the morning. But I've decided I'm just changing the disc anyway at the same time. I think those ones might be alright. Bottom ball joint back in. Right, Wednesday night. A couple other bits and pieces have arrived in the post. Kenzo's getting awfully close to me with his van. Where's he going? Oh, he's a strange laddie. You need to put that there. Yeah, my head bolts haven't arrived yet though. Oh, I might strip the head off that Ecotech. I'm going to finish doing the brake discs on this, because I only did one side last night. Anyway, back on with side 2 of the discs and pads on the Cavalier. Just stripping this down here. This disc looks in decent order as well, but there was a bit of vibration coming off one of them. Not this one. What I've noticed is, look how thin that pad is. That's down at the point where you would want to replace it, but if you look at the other side, there's a lot more meat on them. So we've had a seized pad, I think. I'll give the carrier a good clean up and make sure everything's running freely, make sure this piston goes back. That was a new caliper, so shouldn't be having any issues with it. You mentioned I can't get the securing bolt out for the discs without a fight, so it's having to get chopped out with a chisel. Once again, another victim to the fierce level of corrosion that the car's nearly there. How can that be so awkward? It's got rust on it, and dearie me, oh well, the disc should come off. Dearie me, you have been heated up a bit, Mr. Disc, I think. Oh, we're need to replace them, look at that. It's taken the... it's all rough under there. Yep, oh, they've had it. Oh well, not to worry, new set there. There's a caliper. I've had to take it off because it was sticking a bit, and to go and knock it back through a bit of force. I was going to push it out again for the other side and push it back in and out a couple of times just to see, to make sure it's not completely seizing up. That's pushed out without too much bother. Just got a bit, maybe just got a bit sticky with it sitting for that time that it did, but you see the gold on it. This is not an old caliper. Golden light. This is filthy, so I get that hub cleaned up. I forgot, while I've been round the other side doing bits in the Cavalier, we've actually been making use of the second ramp. Kenzo's GTE's on it, and he's just changed the back axle on it for one of the GTE convertible that was stripped, because he was never convinced about the angle that the wheel sat at. Didn't seem to affect the way the car drove or anything like that, but he seems convinced that it's this replacement axle has changed the way it sits.
Does this wheel was...
That looks bang on to me.
Because I thought that wheel was actually sitting. I thought that was sitting that tone in a wee bit. Now that I feel that's coming more out to the arch here.
Because there's manufacturing tolerances with these, with the way the arches and things sit and all that, but you know, that looks bang on to me. Find out how it goes on the road. It's now got a set of eye-back springs off a Mark III Astra on the back. The Evo chassis dynamic ones I bought for it back in the day have been replaced, but it now sits too high at the front, so it's going to need some springs on it there. Probably the other eye-backs. That's really handy having a second ramp, obviously. I've been raking in here for the ECU for that Ecotec, and I'm going to have to get right in about it because it's hiding down at the bottom somewhere. Oh dear. Set of Cesaros, probably going to put them on the Cavalier CD. Using. There we go. That's what, £7 more expensive for super unleaded. Of course, a lot of these independents are charging like 25p a litre more, and that's really not on. A couple of unhappy people coming in here. It's about 11 o'clock at night at the Tesco. There's no diesel. Which I guess is just a random thing. 30 litres, half a tank, 52 quid. Cost you £104 to fill a Cavalier. Tell you what, GoPros are annoying for altering settings by accident when they're in your pocket and things. Right, that's 85 quid of super in the Cavalier, which I think's filled it. when it was sitting at the garage there, it was starting to kind of idle a bit rough and a bit funny. And I think it's the E10 again. It doesn't really, it'll tolerate it, and it doesn't mind it if it's mixed with super. But if you start running it in pure E10, it gets a bit arsey about it. So we'll see. To pop into Tesco for some delicious breakfast cereal. I'm going to paint this back quarter.
Look at this.
What? A bit of a. I'm just going to paint the whole back panel on it. Got just about enough, and a little drop of lacquer as well. So we'll just give it a quick paint over the top and then let it dry off and see if we can get a reasonable result very quickly. Should have done this like a week ago. But
keep going, building up now.
What I do is let it dry. I'm sure this is a professional and effective way to go and do bodywork in your car. By hit your wet paint with a heat gun to hurry it up because you're going for your dinner tonight. See, it's all orange peely the now, but once you get the really high grit sandpaper onto it and key it back a bit and then put the lacquer on top, then it'll be nice. Oh, giving it like a super quick bit of paint now. We need to flatten the base coat back before we lacquer it ideally, but don't have the time for that at the moment, so I'll just do the way it is to get it up the road and hit it with a wash and a quick bit of polish probably. Brighten it up a bit, seeing as it's not had any attention for quite some time. Almost at my mate Brian's at Freesbraes. He'll be really busy the day, but hopefully we can get on to use his burning gear. Oh good grief, there's shite lying everywhere. Hello. How you doing, alright? Up and do It's just because he was like 12 and he doesn't ken. That's the problem when you're talking to young parts people. They don't got a clue. The old boys that used to ken all the part numbers of these off the heart have died out. Or retired anyway. Died out maybe a bit hard. Reflattening the end on these. What a state. Right, I mean that one will be too small now. We're going to look at these snap-on little black socket things, but having said that, if that's flattened down now, you've probably got a regular Irwin onto it maybe.
Alright, son. Alright.
You reckon?
A bit weird on that.
No, there's another one out. Like that wee 3/8 gun. I like one of them. Well, having said that, I've just went and spunked my money on unnecessary cars again, so probably won't be buying 3/8 guns. Nah. Yeah. What are these? These got a name, these snap-on sockets.
Just
Like Irwin, they're like Irwins, like both sturdy bolt extractors.
only for
They are
taking
good,
off.
like little 1/4 inch things. Got another one out. That one there is getting smaller and smaller. I'm getting there. I have got a replacement set of bolts as well. I note that these have got thread lock on them. I think I'll be putting bloody copper grease in them back in. Yes, 1/2 inch to 3/8 to quarter. Oh, there's last one due to come out. Oh dear. Well, you know, they're guaranteed for life anyway, that's why you buy these things. Where did the last bit go? So a wee snap-on socket brutalising a bottom pulley bolt in this because it's well and truly seized in place. Oh dear. No, much smashing again. Try and get a larger size one of these sockets on the end.
Smashy, smashy.
Can you beat it? Another one with a normal Irwin. Nah, still putting up a fight this year.
Once you get it off.
Snap the head. That's absolutely fine. More than acceptable. Right, and get on with the rest of it now.
At least you've got that. It's halfway in the pulley anyway, so.
Aye. Well, that'll be fine. We'll get that off of there.
Woohoo! I take that belt off.
Not me.
Power steering belt, aye. I soaked it with some D-block because that's going to probably put up a bit of a fight. Put the serious equipment out now. The inductor, I can get a bit of heat into this snapped off bolt, see if it's going to come out. Something's happening. Oh, look at that! Extraction here. Look. Look at that. Bit of heat. Bit of chappage. I go. Here, hold on.
Stuck it in Kenzo's pocket.
Yay! Right. Now we've got the bolts out the bottom. Now going to start stripping it out for the top. I'm going to take the intake pipework and airbox out of here, which is just Jubilee clips. Simple enough to remove. My airbox, the securing brackets no longer exist anyway, so it just kind of falls out. Quality. Cavalier's got the twin alternator power steering belt set up, so there's a 13mm bolt in this bracket that you tension the alternator belt off. I'm just slacking that now, take the belt out the road. Alternator belt free. Right. Timing belt cover's got a 10mm there, a 10mm there, and another one down there that will access. These are quite bad for pulling the whole sort of bracket out to the side of the engine, but these ones are alright. I'm just getting the second one now, with a little 1/4 inch ratchet's handy for that. It's pulling the whole bracket out this time, which is a bit normal, but it'll no matter anyway, because we'll separate that once the cover's off. Right. Beautiful timing belt cover. For my power steering pump, I've slackened that 13 there, which you've got a counter hold on the other side, and I've slackened the bolt there, which tensions it, so I can now lift this off. Oh, I should be able to anyway. There we go. That's the power steering and the alternator belts off. Now to concentrate on getting this thing to come off, which will be well and truly seized out. Alright, I'm just going to go and turn the crank bolt and get the timing marks lined up. There we go. I think it's coming off. No saying it's the right way to do it at all, but getting the ball joint splitter onto the lip of the pulley there. Just giving it a bit of a tap. Seems to be coming off. Get out on that side. That went. That's it. It's off! Oh, rusting all the crap around that. Oh dear, there's a timing mark on there. So we'll turn that and get that to the bottom so it's all lined up again. We'll give this a clean up as well with a wire brush. So when we put the pulley back on, it'll come back off again in 4 years' time and this has to be done again. Right, now I've got the engine timed up. Bearing in mind there are two positions that the top pulleys can sit in while the bottom pulley is on the correct mark. So we've got a 13mm down there on the tensioner and a 13mm on the roller, so I'm going to take them off first. We're going to be taking the back plate off the engine as well because we're doing the water pump. So it's just down there, that's where the 13 is for the tensioner. Yeah, that's the bolt out for the tensioner. That's the roller bolt as well. Mine has got a washer on it, that one's longer. Longer one, shorter one for the tensioner. And that's plastic roller of the light spec engine.
For the fucking the steering.
Yeah, it is. Coil pack spec tensioner. I'm just going to ease the belt off it now as well. Many thousands of miles left in this, really. Still good. I might put this on eBay, see if anybody wants to buy it. Right. The metal back plate, which needs to be removed to do the water pumps, held on. We've got 4 Torxes, one there, 2 down the bottom, and it's also held on with this bit which holds the front of the timing belt cover on. So that's it, kind of loose now. The only thing that's holding it in is the water pump bolts, which have got the kind of wide washers on them. So 3 of them in there, I think they're T40s. Or Allen bolts, maybe 7mm Allens. I'll go and slacken them, and in doing so all the coolant is going to leak out the engine as well, so I'll get a basin underneath it. The last bit that's holding the back plate on is just a single 13mm, which is the bracket which holds the rollers and the timing belt cover on it. Comes out of there. Once that's out the road, that's a bracket pretty much ready to lift clear. In fact, it should lift clear now. Yes. As I'm slackening the second bolt and that's all the coolant starting to leak out from behind the water pump. Got the top one to do now. Ease out. Three out, and then whoosh. Right. Now I've got the water pump out, what I'm going to do is sand down the surface area in here where it's going to sit with the seal against it, so to make sure that it doesn't leak. You can see that there, oh, you can see it down there now, that's where the water pump sits in there. Right, that's the old water pump there on the left, and here's our new one with the seal on it. It's got the same shape, number of teeth on it, because you get early and late type ones of these, mind. This one is the same as what you get in an Ecotech and a Z-Lit, I think. It just slots back in place. On the earlier ones you would set your tension off the water pump using that bit there, but we don't use that. We set the tension off the belt using the tensioners in the kit on the later type. In we go. Water pump slotting in to position. And there's that's the 3 bolts going back in now. Right, put the pulleys back on, put the tensioner mount back on, we've got the water pump in, back plate is all screwed in together, and I sorted out the screw on this which was jammed in. What a state. But I've got here, this is the timing belt kit, it's a QH one. Obviously it's the same thing, we've got the rollers, we've got the tensioner, got the correct type of belt, so I'm going to go and fire these on the car now. Obviously it's got the 3 different bolts, they only fit one way, you shouldn't be able to get these wrong. This is the other roller just coming off the front here, which again is a 13mm bolt. That's the tensioner on there, and you'll see there's a little spot that sits in against. There's a little lug against it, and that gets like a 6mm Allen key goes into it, and then you pull that around and set the tension on the pointer, which you can't see here. I'm going to clean this up now anyway. Oh, 6mm Allen key into the tensioner, and then spin it round until it gets to the mark where it says new belt. Then lock it off. Easy as that, 13mm. That's it tensioned, still on the marks at the top, still on the mark at the bottom, and I'll take that socket off into there. Jammed on. Top mark, it's on the bottom mark, and the pointer is set to new belt. Obviously we can check it's got the right amount of tension, there's no slack bits in it. So what we're going to do now is just rotate the engine a couple of times, bring it round so they go back to where they were before, and we'll see how it's sitting. That'll be fine. I'm going to spin this, make sure we're all going to line up again. It runs as it should be. Boom! All timed up, lovely. Right, that's cleaned and greased. So's the inside of that, and so are my 5 bolts. I've only got 5 now because I can't find the other one, but I'll get another one from doing the workshop just shortly. I'm going to fire some fresh antifreeze in it. Right, so that's the timing belt done. That's good because it's done 40,000 miles now. So now we're good. That timing belt will take it over 200,000 miles because it's sitting just over 168,000 on it at the moment. I'm just letting it sit here and warm up, get the thermostat to open and make sure all the cooling system's bled through. And I'm really pleased that's the timing belt's done. A couple of people have said, well, why have you done it at 40,000 miles? Modern belts can do 90,000 miles. Well, that's the service interval that's recommended, and the belt would probably be fine. The thing you've got to watch is the rollers and the tensioner, especially on these coil pack later spec engines, because they've got the plastic rollers on them which are less durable. I mean, generally it's not a big hassle to do a timing belt in XC anyway. So I'm glad that's done. In a couple of months' time, I mentioned the rust proofing, but what I want to do as well is get the dashboard out it, because I want to sort the 2 rotten bits up at the corner, because that's letting water into the engine, into the interior. so that'll be a dash out job, but that's alright, done that before, it's not the original dash that's in it. Nice to have the new brakes on it as well, it doesn't judder now. I tell you what, it's not actually looking that bad after we hit it with a bit of paintwork to take it to Irvine. This is a little bit orange peely at the moment because you need to sand it down and we didn't have the time to do that, but it's looking a lot more respectable than it was as well. I'm really pleased with it. It's worked so hard over the first few months of the year, and a little bit more work on it, and I wouldn't be ashamed to go and take it out and show it, considering it's used pretty much every day and there's a lot of long runs to England and things. But yeah, really pleased. That's the timing belt done, and that's pretty much all the maintenance we'll be needing to do in the car for a few months. It's good to go. Okay, so now you're in the passenger footwell, having a wash. What's your plans? You just want to like hang out? Oh, excuse me.